Could drinking every day be as bad for your heart as binge drinking? A new study says it just might be. Researchers at the Curie University College of Medicine studied the drinking habits of nearly 10 million people, and they found that people who drank every day had a 40% higher risk of developing something known as atrial fibrillation than those who drank twice a week. This is what was interesting. They found those who had binge or were binge drinkers didn't show this increase of atrial fibrillation. Now, that binge drinking, obviously, if you're doing it every day, that would show the increased risk. But they found that this pattern of daily drinking is what put people at risk for atrial fibrillation, which is abnormal rhythm of your heart, which can definitely increase your risk of stroke, other potential complications. This is interesting because it flies in the face of some other things. So it's, you know, docs, in a silo, if you're looking just at atrial fibrillation in this study, okay, might increase your risk. But then there's other studies that say, hey, a glass of wine a day may reduce your risk of...
I completely agree. I mean, this is a really large, well-powered study. It was published in a reputable journal, the European Cardiology Journal.
Marie Curie University is in Paris. There's a lot of wine drinking going on there. So, you know, I mean, I'm a little surprised that this study was done there.
But I think you made the correct point, that it's just this one aspect of heart health, which is the rhythm. Atrial fibrillation is that irregular, very fast atrial pulsing of your heart. But we've talked on this show about other benefits of moderate to low intake of alcohol on a regular basis. And it is interesting that their standard was drinking twice a week, which, you know, some people may think is also a fair bit. So especially here in the United States, where we're not necessarily drinking that wine every day.
Daily.
So, no, I agree with you, but I think it's sometimes hard because you read these medical headlines. This was a well-powered study, 10 million people, but you're only talking about one aspect of heart health, and atrial fibrillation, relatively speaking, is rare. It's one type of arrhythmia, where we've talked about many other benefits of the antioxidants and the lowered blood pressure that comes from low amounts of routine drinking.
But what I do think this does add weight to is if you're a non-drinker, there's no reason to start drinking for heart health.
Fair.
I think that's important. And I think when you look at the untoward outcomes of drinking too much, liver disease, increased risk of cancer, decreased longevity, that is with too much drinking. And whether that's each and every day, binge drinking, that's all bad. But to me, when you look at alcohol can be really bad for you, or if used the right way, in moderation. If there's multiple benefits, social, you know, okay, fine. Be wary when you read a study and it says, okay, you're 40% increased risk for atrial fibrillation, but binge drinking's fine.
Yeah.
Binge drinking, you know what else happens? You binge drink, you're a much higher risk of getting in a fatal car accident or tripping and falling and hitting your head or making bad, So anyway, I just have a really tough time telling people that, hey, if you enjoy a glass of wine at night, don't do that. Just binge drink from time to time.
Right.
Not going to say that.
Now that you mention it, I just may have to pour a little Cab Sav tonight.
Cab Sav? What's your go-to, buddy?
Which Cab Sav?
Yeah, what are you going to do tonight?
I've been drinking Ragusi lately.
Yeah,
Save some for me, buddy. Give me the Cab Sav.
One glass, it's good for you.
There you go, buddy.